All right. Well, welcome to Insanity Bootcamp, everybody. Congratulate yourselves for being here. For those who are watching online, sorry for the delay. I was sending you little smoke signals here from the little projector, but we had a little bit of a technical challenge to get started. Wanted to make sure everybody could hear. For the streaming people, how are we looking? Are we looking good back there? Everything's good? So, we have a great group here in Las Vegas, and we have over 2,000 people all over the world. Over 100 different countries are watching live right now. So, everybody here, say hi to everybody back there. Hi. Hey! And in the room here, how many countries do we have represented? Give me a country that if you came from, how many people came from outside the United States? Okay, quick show of hands. Where are you from? Puerto Rico. Australia. Canada. Mexico. France. Peru. Albania. Italy. Brisbane, Australia. Mexico. Canada. In Mexico? Yeah. Well, welcome everybody. I'm excited that you're here. We're going to spend 2 days together and we're going to go to work. I think I told you before, this event isn't for tourists. It's pretty serious. It's for people who are ready to take their lives and their businesses to another level, who are serious about their career in network marketing, have come to a certain point. And maybe how many people have been involved in network marketing less than 12 months here in the room? Okay? So you're starting and you want to start right. I respect that. This is the program I wish was available to me when I first got started at age 22. 18, welcome. How many people have earned, say, between $50,000 a year in network marketing and $250,000 a year in network marketing in any year? Okay, probably 30% of the room. Fantastic. It might be those people that have gotten to a certain level. Maybe you've plateaued, or maybe you want to take yourself to a higher level. Or third, it could be the high-income people, and I know we have some high-income people here in the room. We certainly have a lot of high-income people that are watching around the world. What I will tell you, for the high-income person, I really respect you, because sometimes you can go into what I call a success coma. And you don't really know this unless you've gone through it. Any of you have ever made big money in your career, in anything, you can find yourself going through the motions. You think you're working. If somebody asks you, you're working hard? Yes, I'm working hard. But you're really just going through the motions. You haven't really engaged like you did at the beginning with the same passion and intensity. So the people who are highly successful that are watching this, I really commend you, because it's hard to break out of a success coma, and this is the type of program that can help you do that. In addition to that, for those of you who have organizations, I'm going to give you some tools over the course of these 12 hours we're going to spend together. I'm going to give you some tools to be able to inspire, educate, and mobilize your existing group. Get that existing group to go into a higher level of activity, energy, duplication, production, sales, right? All the things that we're looking for. So as we start, I will tell you, over the course of this event, I'm going to share some of my best leadership ideas with you. I think I've talked to you about this before. For those of you who watch Network Marketing Pro, we were just talking about this. It feels like we're old friends, right? You know, we've been talking with each other every day, some of you for years now. Even if we haven't met in person, we're still friends. We're still kind of buddies. We're like, you know, we share the ups and downs. We go through all this stuff together. But I will tell you, the best friend you can have is somebody who is honest and candid and straightforward. And the best gift I could give you over the course of these 2 days is to be that honest friend. It's a safe environment, yes, but I'm not going to candy coat it and tell you it's going to be easy. I'm not going to candy coat it and tell you it's going to be fun all the time. Some people in network marketing, they get this strange idea that if it's not fun, then they don't have to go to work. Like, fun is required in every single ounce of anything that you do that's productive. Every great athlete, it's not fun when they're training sometimes. They get injured sometimes. That's not fun. But the motivation that will pull them through the pain is enough. So the overall experience is fun, but there's some ups and downs that you're going to deal with. So what I'm telling you is I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to push you. I'm going to not let you accept less than what you're capable of doing. And there's some of you that are going to not handle that well. Some of you that are watching online, guess how you're going to respond to some of the things? They're going, oh, he's pushing them to do this exercise right now, so I'm going to go have dinner. I'm going to go take a nap. I'm going to go run around the block, whatever. You're going to engage in a million different avoidance behavior things. You're going to find yourself online saying, maybe I should go over and see what's happening on Facebook. Maybe I should check my email. My suggestion to you is close every other window in your computer, shut it all down with the exception of this stream, and focus. Focus. It's hard to focus, and especially when you're trying to avoid something that you need to confront. It's so easy in today's world to say, well, let me check, see if anybody texted me. Let me check. Let me see, let me call somebody real quick. He reminded me I should call that person. You'll have plenty of time to call that person. You're going to need to go to work, okay? Now, how many people here in this room came to work these 2 days? All right? Fantastic. We got the right group in the right room. So I have permission from you to talk straight. Yes? Yes. I have permission to challenge you. Yes. I have permission to kick your butt in the nicest possible way. Okay, good. Here's what I'm going to tell you is some of you are living at a tiny fraction of what you're capable of. Just a tiny fraction. Almost all of you. I am. We all are. Sometimes we need somebody to challenge us to push, to grow, to expand, to think bigger faster, believe bigger, have a bigger vision for ourselves. But in network marketing, there's nothing worse than crawling. And if you've been crawling in network marketing and you're mad at yourself, what I'd like you to do at the beginning of this is to just do this with me. And forgive yourself for every mistake that you've made up until this moment. Every time you've fallen down, every time you've been inconsistent, every time you've made a mistake, every time you've blown up your group, every time you've fallen down from a qualification and aren't qualified at that level again, every time you let somebody down because you weren't there for them at that one magic moment that they say they needed you and they piled the guilt on you, let all that go. If I give you some strategies and tactics, do your best not to go back in time and say, oh my gosh, if I would have known that back when I started then, I wouldn't have destroyed all of these contacts that I had. Give yourself permission to have a clean slate. Radical forgiveness. Sometimes have you ever found that it's easier to forgive somebody else than it is to forgive yourself? In our business, we can be hard on ourselves. We can be tough. We can be mean to ourselves. And I'd like you to start this with a clean slate. Just a fresh page. Okay. If you have psychic damage from previous experiences, just let it go. It doesn't have to control you after this moment. Okay, we can start with a fresh page and a better plan. That's what I want you to have. Leave here tomorrow evening with a better plan, better strategy to be able to do better. I'm also going to ask you to play all out, even if whether you're in the room or if you're watching at home. Play all out. That means if there's an exercise, I want you in it hard. Some of the friends were at the Cabo intensive event. And remember some of the exercises that we did here. We're going to do a few of those again here. But remember when some of the people, when it got hard, that they started to do this and hide? And I may see you starting to slink away and hide, and I may come grab you. Because that's going to be a tendency for some of you, because you're going to face some fears this weekend. You're going to look it in the face. You're going to stare it down. And you're going to come out of here. My goal is for you to come out here, number one, educated. Number two, equipped. But mostly, I want you to leave here fearless. The fear is gone. The doubt is gone. The self-worth issues are gone. The past drama is gone. And you walk out of here, when you walk out of here fearless, the world will start to attract to you almost immediately. But I'm going to ask you to play all out. You know, when you go to church and they say, hey, say hi to the person on your left and say hi to the person on your right. Anybody go to a church where they say to do that? I hate that. Me personally, just the introvert in me wants to just, so I quickly say hi to the person that I know, right? And then I say hi to them again, so I don't have to go to the other side. So I'm just asking you, don't be me in this environment. In this environment, we're here to learn. And some of the learning is going to come in the doing, especially tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning for 3 hours, that's the deep end of the swimming pool. We're going to go to work, okay? So all out, engaged, full on. And I want you to get all the notes. I want you to capture this. Because it's not about what you get. It's about learning it so good that you could teach it. I would like to have your notes so solid and so complete that you could go back to your hometown and have a little session for 2 days with people and go through the notes and share it with them. You learn it most when you teach it. So think about this as a teacher preparing to educate more than it is a student trying to absorb. Okay? This is an active, engaged back and forth that we're going to go through. It's not you sit back like you're watching a movie and just let it soak in. You can do that if you want. I just think you're getting a tiny fraction of the value, okay? And there's going to be times when your mind is weary. There's too much. I promise you, over this 2 days, there's going to be some points where your mind is completely overwhelmed and you can't digest it because it's too much too fast. I would ask that when that happens, and it will happen for almost all of you, make sure that you're still writing while your mind is freaked out. You'll have an opportunity to digest more of it later. And over the reason why this is 2 days is it's going to take some time for you to kind of digest it and see, okay, how is this going to apply to me? How am I going to roll it out? How am I going to make it happen? Okay? So, all out. Play all out. And here's the other thing I want to tell you. Don't automatically believe everything that you believe. Everything that you believed coming in here, I want you to not accept all of it as fact. I'll give you some examples. Some of you think that you've already talked to everyone you know. Some of you think that. It's not true, but you think it. Some of you think your warm market is not interested, it's over. I'm going to show you how to approach those people you've talked to 10,000 times and get results this weekend before you leave. Okay? Some of you think that you're not a leader. I'm just not a leader. I'm not naturally a leader. That's for other people. Some of you are how many people are here as a couple? Okay. For all of you, there's typically one that says, oh, the other person's the real builder. I support the other person. So I'm the supporter. don't automatically believe that as fact. Because I promise you, in almost every case, it's not true. There's power in you that if you become fearless, everything changes. If you stay fearful, then you can, hey, let me go make you a sandwich while you go make phone calls. Right? So don't automatically believe that you're not a builder, that you're not a salesperson, that you're not a leader. Don't automatically believe that. And don't automatically believe that your highest success is even in your vision right now. You know what I've learned that people can typically visualize? The maximum that they can visualize in their brain to earn per year is about twice what they've ever earned in their life. That's their mental limit. So if they made $100,000, that was their best year ever, they can kind of see 2, but they can't see 5. 100,000. If they made 50,000, they can see 100, but they can't see $250,000. That just sounds like it, winning the lottery. It doesn't even sound real, right? So even let go of those beliefs that you're this type of a person, you're that level of a person. I'll never be able to do this. I'll never be able to do that. Let go of those different kinds of things. Let me give you something to start your notes with if you haven't already started. There are 3 stages in a network marketer's career. Do we have this up so I can see it or no? Oh, great. Wow, look at that. Stage 1 is going from invisible to average. Some of you might consider yourself an invisible person in your company right now. Nobody knows your name. They don't call you out. They don't use you in examples. They don't talk about you on the calls. You're invisible. Like I was an invisible student in high school. Invisible. Anybody here an educator, used to be an educator of any sort? You know the invisible kids? I was one of them. Didn't stand out, didn't do nothing, just basically I was waiting to get out of there, man. I knew I needed to be here today, and I was sitting in high school going through geometry saying, I really, really am never going to use this, ever. But society said I needed to go through it, so I did it. So to go from invisible to average, in order to do that, that's all about recruiting. If you recruit, you'll start to be noticed. If you recruit, you'll start to be recognized. If you recruit, you'll start to be celebrated, right? You'll become somebody in your company. That's stage 1, going from invisible person to average. Stage 2 is going from average to a leader. That's all about duplication. Have anybody ever recruited and weren't able to get anything duplicated? Frustrating, isn't it? It's like, come on. You hear about duplication, right? They go tell you these stories. Here's the story they tell you. Okay, what's your name? Thomas. Okay, Thomas, here's you. Now, the first thing you're going to do, Thomas, is you're going to go out there and recruit 5 people. And then you're going to teach those 5 to recruit 5. Super easy, super easy. And then all you have to do is duplicate that process. Those 5, they go recruit 5, and you got 125 people. And would you rather have 100% of your efforts, Thomas, or 1% of 125 people's efforts? I'd like the 125. That's what I said. I want the 120. Oh, it doesn't stop there, Thomas. It goes to 625. And then 3,125. Do you know why I know those numbers? I've done this a million times. The power of exponential growth, Thomas. Don't you feel like an idiot working in that job you've been in for the last 20 years? When you could have done this? Awesome. But, however, so you go out, Thomas. And you know what I found out? Going from invisible to average, phase 1, invisible to average, you know what I found out? You can just decide that you're getting 5. I'm getting 5. You're not going to stop me. Nobody's going to stop me. I'm not sleeping until I get 5. I'm taking the mattresses out of my house until I get 5. I'm unplugging all the television sets until I get 5. I'm not eating until I get 5. Anybody ever done that? I have. I'm getting 5. You in or you out? So, you become noticed. You went and got 5. And then you tell your 5, okay. I'm waiting. And then you got to go to your 5. Eventually, you get fed up. You get frustrated. Say, come on, what's your name? What's your name? Yay? Yale. Oh my gosh. Yael? So I go to Yael and say, you joined, why did you join? You joined you wanted to build something, right? She goes, scared out of her mind. So I go to her, finally I get frustrated and say, you're getting 5, come with me. Give me your list, I'll call them. Put people in front of me, drag bodies, and put them in front of me, and I'll do the presentation, and I'll sign them up. So you go to your 5 and say, you're getting 5, you're getting 5, you're getting 5, you're getting 5, you're getting 5. You could do that too. Now you've got 30 paralyzed people instead of just 5. All frozen, all stuck. And then you go home and say, well, we got to this level. Now I'm waiting for this level, and that level doesn't show up. What in the world? What's going on? Thought this duplication stuff was supposed to work. So what happens is, once it gets out of your reach, if you can have your arms around it all, you can hold about 30 in your personal sphere of influence. And so long as they drag bodies, you can get customers and stuff, but it's all on you. You ever felt like you were the only one working in your whole team? That's because you probably were the only one working in your whole team. That's what happened to me. So I built it up to 30, and then it would shrink back. I'd shrink back to 20, 10, 5. People would just go, I'm tired of being paralyzed here. I'm too afraid of you. You're yelling at me all the time, telling me to go get more. I'm just going to become a customer. I'm just going to use the product. Right? Off they go. So then if you're like me, then you go, well, I probably recruited the wrong people. I need to recruit up. I need to recruit successful people. That's the ticket. Because if I recruit people that are better than me, then they'll go out and do it. Right? I did that. Guess what? Sometimes successful people, recruiting up is a great idea. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes successful people, the first hint of rejection, they haven't gotten rejection in their career for the last 5 years. They invite 2 people to take a look, and the 2 people go, dude, what did you just get involved in? And they go, oh, I don't know if I want people talking about me at the country club like this. It shrinks back down. Then, I'm being too easy on people. I need to be harder on people. Drop down and give me 20 push-ups right now. We're going to be the tough group. People say, I didn't come here to work for you. You tried to do the love approach. We're just going to love everybody. Big hug, nurturing, hugging, kissing, high five. Nobody sells anything. They just tell each other how excited they are. I'm excited. No, you have no idea. The convention, the new product is unbelievable. Oh, let me tell you about the other thing I'm excited about. They're recruiting each other, and they've already signed up for days and weeks and months. Haven't talked to a prospect in forever. So it'll expand and contract and expand and contract and expand and contract. I rebuilt my organization when I started 7 times. In the first 3 years. Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, making just enough money to be miserable. And then I learned the concept of duplication, which is really about coming up with a daily method of operation. We're going to talk about some of those things. A daily method of operation, a simple, fundamental 2, 3, 4 things. Depends on the company, but typically there's 3 or 4 things that you ask everyone to do every day that makes the process work better. That's number 1, that helps duplication. Number 2, that helps duplication is a very specific getting started process. A very specific and connected getting started process. I'll give you an example. The most successful organizations that are duplicating around the world, and I have an opportunity to see these companies around the world. I see them all. I see what duplicates and what isn't duplicating, what's being driven on personality and what's being driven on the system working and the product working. It's 2 things: daily method of operation and a militantly rigid getting started process. One that isn't left up to chance. One where a person, when they join, they go through a getting started process with their sponsor, with their upline, with their whatever. It's not just left. They don't send them home to go get started. They sit down with them. They spend a half an hour to 60 minutes. They set their expectations. They create a game plan. They help them put some things together to get some quick success, build their confidence, build their belief. Let them know about the landmines that are coming up. Let them know, set their expectations on income and people accepting them and everything else, getting them set on a path of personal development, getting them set on a path of using the product or service for the company, getting them set on a path and helping them get results quickly. So it's those 2 things. That's where duplication lives, inside of those 2 things. DMO, daily method of operation, in a strong and unwavering getting started process, a game plan process. And if your organization isn't duplicating, it's those 2 things that are holding it back. It took me a long time to learn that. Long time to learn that. Inside of that DMO, some sort of third-party tool, some sort of something that you could point to, you could introduce to people to, in order to be able to get them feeling confident. If they didn't have the skills to be able to do the presentation themselves, they still felt equipped to be able to go out there and make something happen. So it's those 2 things. That takes you to level 2, phase 2. Phase 3 is going from a leader to a legend. The legends in network marketing. And every one of you will become if you choose to. It's literally a choice. Not about background, skill, circumstance, whatever. It's a choice. This is all about promotion. Promoting campaigns, promoting the product, promoting the next big event, promoting the cause, promoting the mission, promoting your 90-day game plan. Promoting, getting people to see a big vision. Getting people to understand that if they engaged with you in this burst of energy, this burst of excitement and enthusiasm and passion, if they engaged with you, then they're going to get a big return on that investment. Promoters are promoting the benefit of what we can do together. What you're going to get if you do that with us, what the power that we're going to have together. we're going to do something special. We're going to change the world. We're going to revolutionize this area of the world, whatever it is. But promoters make the big money. This is where you get massive leverage, because recruiting is one thing, and it's something that you have to do it if you're going to, you got to start the snowball at the top of the mountain, right? That's recruiting. Pushing it off the mountain, right? Then you start to get a little duplication, starts to grow. But until it turns into that, the avalanche is promotion. That's when the whole thing lets go. And if you've ever been a part of it, if you've ever been around somebody that's done it or had it, think about the greatest promoters in the world. Think about the promoters in your hometown. Think about the promoters in this town of Las Vegas. How they're promoting their show, how they're promoting their nightclub, how they're promoting the fight coming up or whatever. They're promoting. They've created a machine to promote. That's where the big boys and big girls live, in promotion-minded activity. That's where the big money comes from. And that's what we're going to talk about these 2 days. Yes, I'm going to give you some tactics on recruiting and selling. I'm going to give you some tactics on duplication. But the big thing is I want you to go from a leader to a legend. And I want you to be able to move there through the act of promotion. Got it? All right. You at home? You got it? Hope you got it. All right. The other thing I want to tell you is we're going to spend a lot of time talking about making a decision, because there isn't 20 of you in this room that have really made a decision. There's something that could knock you out. Something that you could knock you out of the profession. Your company goes under, that could knock you out of the profession. If you've made a decision, it won't knock you out of the profession. Or your upline might hurt your feelings. That might knock you out. Your best distributor might leave. That might knock you out. Something could happen that could knock you out. But once you get to the point where you've really made a decision, nothing can knock you out of this profession, nothing. Then everything gets pretty easy once you make the decision. Until you make the decision, everything stays pretty hard. It really does. You're just a victim of circumstance. If things are going great in your company and things are moving up and everything's going fantastic, then you'll ride that along for a while. But if your company goes through hard times and you start buying the story, because not every company goes straight up. There's some people in this room, their company was here and now they're here. And they're going, well, am I with the right company? What's going on? All they have to do is they can be the reason why the company takes another turn. They can. All by themselves. They don't have to wait for the leader, the founder, the top distributor, or any of that stuff to do it, because that person might be sitting on the beach. They've done their work. Who knows? But I will tell you, here's what I need to tell you. Making the decision is hard. Once you've made the decision, things get pretty easy, but making the decision is hard. And let me tell you why. There are 3 types of people in the world. Some of you may have seen this before. The first group are the pessimists. P stands for pessimist. Pessimist. And if a pessimist is a 10 on a scale of 1 to 100, do they think they're going to go to an 11 or a 9? Which is more likely? 9. And they're actually kind of proud of it. The fact that they predicted that it was going to go bad. Right? They tell everybody, I told you. Told you I was going to lose my job. Told you I was going to get laid off. Told you. Right? So they expect to go down. And like I say, when they do, they're proud of it. When they go down, they accurately predicted the future once again. Second group are the realists. A lot of realists watching from home, a lot of realists in this room. I'm not one of those pessimists. I set a goal, I hit my goal. I set another goal, I hit my other goal. I'm a reasonable person. I set reasonable goals. I don't want to be disappointed. I don't want to be let down. But most of all, I don't want to be embarrassed. One of my highest values is for people to think well of me at all times. I don't want somebody talking behind my back. I don't want somebody whispering in the hallway that I didn't do something that I said I was going to do. And they put it all in what they call honor. It's my honor. And that's a bunch of baloney, by the way. It's not honor at all. It's fear that they put it in, but they call it honor. The realist says, I'm not one of those pessimists. I set a reasonable goal, and I hit that goal. Here's where I am. I'm way ahead of those pessimists. But if I ever miss a goal, guess what they're going to do the next time? They'll lower it down a little bit. They'll bring it down a little bit. So it's kind of like a high jumper setting it at about 3 inches. Jumping over. Did it. High five. I did it one more time. I could do that all day. Congratulations. Wonderful. Tiny little goals with tiny little vision and tiny little dreams and tiny little steps. I'm making progress, though. I have one more person on my team. If I just do one a month, I've seen the chart that says if I do one a month and everybody on my team does one a month, I'm going to have 4,000 people in the next 12 months. It's going to be the most awesome ride ever. Tiny little baby steps. That's the realist. And then you have some crazy people. Visionaries. Visionaries say, here's where I am, but I'm not even mentally where I am. This is where I am today. Yes, fine. It's temporary. It's not going to last long. I'm going here. That's where I'm going. Outrageous, unbelievable, unreasonable objectives and goals. How many times do you think the visionary hits their goal? Almost never. Almost never. But in reaching for it, they end up here. In reaching for it, they end up there. Now, just basing on sheer results, which would you rather be? Pessimist, realist, or visionary? Visionary sounds sexy, sounds cool. I'm a visionary, watch me roar. Right? It's very hard to do. Let me tell you why it's hard to do. 98% of the world is over here, including the people in your company, including the people in your downline, including the people in your family, including the people in your church, including the people in your school and in your job and walking around this resort. And I'm being generous with the 98. So that means 2% are over here. Okay? 2%. So that means out of every 50 people, there's only one. And you're up against 49 people that are saying, why are you doing this? You look like a fool. You look like an idiot. You're making a mockery of your own career. You're embarrassing yourself. You're embarrassing your family. You're embarrassing the company. You're embarrassing the team. Stop it. Don't do that anymore. Makes us all look bad. And I was a visionary from an early stage. And I used to always say, okay, we're going to set this big goal. We're going to go make it happen. And I'd throw these big numbers at it, and people would roll their eyes on the team. they'd apply Eric math to stuff that I would say. We're going to have 500 people there. That means, well, divide that by 2, that's 250. Divide that by 2 again, that's 125. Divide that by 2 again, it's like 60. So you're really saying 60, Eric. You're not saying 500. So no, I'm saying 500. Stop it. I might end up with 60. And they go, ha, see? We predicted it. I said, stop it, realist. I don't need your nonsense. Because if I reached for 60, guess what I might have ended up with? 10. But I reached for 500. And I was willing to take the campfire talk from weaker minds. Sitting around, poking holes at me, second guessing me, rolling their eyes at me, talking trash about me to other leaders in the same company. Well, you got to talk to Eric because he's an insane person. I need to work with somebody who's logical and rational and reasonable. Like I was abusing them or something. So here's the reason why it's so hard to stay visionary. It's really cool to say it, but it's hard to do it because there's so much peer pressure built up against you doing what I'm about to teach you to do in this 90-day game plan. You're going to go home, and guess what? 49 out of 50 are not going to say, hey, don't do that. They're not going to say that. But they're going to try to influence you against it in 1,000 ways. A tiny little 1%. Tiny little itty-bitty bits. Right? I'll give you an example. You don't have steps on this side? All right. Come here 1 second. U6, U7. Come over here real quick. You see me over there? Hi, everybody home. Can you see me? I hope. All right. You guys stay right here. Come here, sir. What's your name? Jim. Jim's a big dude. He's got a big vision. He's going to move forward, and the goal is that camera, right?
That one right there.
That's his goal.
Okay.
And he's determined.
Okay.
We're not determined that he's going to reach his goal. This group, come over here. Come over here. All right, stand on this side of the goal. Come over here. Yeah. Our job as the pessimist and realist in his life is as we inch forward to get him off of his goal. Okay? And this is not 49 of us, it's 6 of us. Okay? Big guy, let's take tiny little steps, start moving towards your goal. No, tiny ones, because we got to show the example.
I'm doing tiny.
Tiny.
That is tiny.
I know it's tiny for you, but tinier. All right, ready? Let's just lean on it a little bit. I mean, you're not even trying. You're not even fighting for your dream. You don't fight for your dream. You got to come. Whoa. I headbutt you.
No, you didn't headbutt me.
Come on over here. Do it again.
I might have misunderstood.
I want you to stay focused on your dream.
Oh, okay.
And I want you to all help him not be focused moving towards that dream.
Right.
Okay?
Yes.
Ready? Tiny steps.
Tiny steps.
Tiny steps. And but yeah, go ahead and try to resist us. Try to resist us as hard as you can. Harder. That's good advice that he just did right there, right? So here's my point. The point that I'm trying to make to you is, what did he just do with the people he was spending time with? He got away from them. He didn't sit there to try to fight them, because he could have done that. He could have turned like a bull and fought them. And would that have helped them get closer? What was the fastest way for him to get to his goal? Get away from them. Spend less time with them. Thank these guys for coming on. Go ahead and sit down. Sorry, guys. I know I was really close to the speaker there. But here's my point. My point is, you're going to be influenced. You're going to need to have strong beliefs. You're going to need to surround yourself with very strong people. You're going to need to surround yourself with people who have the same hopes and dreams that you have. Some people who will push you harder sometimes than you'll push yourself. That's what you need to surround yourself with. And don't think for a second that you can out-influence the rest of the group. I'm just going to be stronger than the rest of the group. I used to think that. You'd find yourself exhausted. There's an old saying, when you dance with the devil don't change. The devil changes you. So if you hang out with negative people, the negative people don't usually change, but they change you. They change what you're looking at. They change what you're reading. They change how you're talking. They change what you're eating. They change your habits. They change your thoughts. For you to be equipped to do what you need to do and really change the world, you've got to be strong, really mentally strong. This group is going to spend all of their time talking about what you didn't accomplish, what you missed. And they're going to try to get you to set your goal lower. But if you fall for that trap, you set it lower, you achieve lower. You set it lower again, you achieve lower. And pretty soon in network marketing, one of the saddest things in the world that happens in network marketing is the person that says, I'm lonely over here, and this is hard. I'm going to go over here. One of the saddest things that I see, and I see it all the time. I'm tired of being a visionary, so I'm just going to become a realist with the rest of the crowd. And they give up and they lose their ability to be great. Now they just make a few bucks. They hang out. They go to the conventions for the next 10 years, making the same money as they're making right now, maybe a tiny little bit more. They qualify for the trip here and there. They get free product maybe, but they aren't a legend. They've let go of legend. And if they stay there long enough, guess where they go? Into the really sad group that says it's not for me, but the products are really great. I'm loyal to the products. I'm just not a builder, but I have good friends here. Or if they become a cynic, beyond pessimists, then they leave the profession and say, you know what, it doesn't work. All because they didn't have the strength and the decision to stay the course on this side. The reasonable person conforms to the world. The unreasonable person asks the world to conform to their viewpoint. So based upon that, all progress in the world is based upon the unreasonable person. So here's my question to you. Think about any great leader in the world, ever. Would you call them reasonable? Any leader. A leader, almost by definition, is unreasonable. Any leader. Pick one that comes to mind. And you're going to go, well, they were visionary. People were always telling them to slow down and stop making waves and quit doing all that crazy talk, and you're going to get yourself killed. And some of the people were willing to die for their beliefs. You might ask, do you need to be willing to die? It wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt. I haven't heard of any, hardcore persecutions of network marketing distributors around the world. But it wouldn't hurt that if you were that committed, that I'm not going to be stopped. I am unshakable. I am unstoppable. I am unmovable. And I'm going to, guess what? Guess what? You might not follow my dream. You might not see my vision. And that's okay. But I don't need you to. If I'm strong enough, the people who have the same vision as me, they will find me. By me just living in the world, they will hear my story and they'll say, finally, there's another person who thinks like me. And they're going to come together with me. I'm not going to be that mediocre, doesn't attract anything person. I'm going to be white hot where everybody goes, yes, where have you been? I've been waiting for you. And then when that person locks arms and now you got two who are white hot, What's that biblical phrase? One can do what? Dad, what's the two can do? What's what one can do what? One can put 1,000, two 10,000. Just from finding one other person who believes like you believe. I'm talking about another level. Maybe some level that you haven't ever even considered. But until you get to that level, there's only so far you're going to go. I don't want you to be crawling through this business, getting a customer here and a customer there, a distributor here, a distributor there. That one falls out, replace them with another one. That one falls out, replace them with another one. There's a difference. There's a difference. But it's going to require a major mental shift. I'm going to give you the tactics, but until you get this, the tactics won't hold. Because 49 out of 50 are going to drip on you until you let go. They're just going to drip and drip and drip and drip and drip. And you know what I've found? I've found that one of the greatest gifts you can get is a person who outright gets in your face and tells you you're going to fail. It's one of the greatest gifts ever. Anybody ever had somebody tell them that? Anybody? The rest of you, you've missed a gift. Because remember how you felt? You're like, oh yeah? Watch me. Watch me. You don't know me, and you don't know what's inside of here and what's inside of here. You don't know. And maybe you were doubting yourself, but they got so in your face that you said, I'm not going to let them be right. Not going to happen. But for the rest of you that didn't get that gift, the much more devastating relationship is the person that just does this. When you tell them your dream. And you know that they don't approve. But they don't say it. They just nod their head. They might roll their eyes a little bit, but not that much. Just enough to wound your soul. Just enough to nick your heart and have it bleed for a while. Just enough to get you to question your decisions. Just enough. I'm so thankful that early on I had a couple people tell me I was going to fail. A couple people I really respected. Flat out said, call me in 90 days, you won't still be doing it. And guess what? 90 days later, I wanted to quit so bad. And I couldn't because I decided not to let this person be right. I couldn't. So there's positive. People believed in me that I didn't want to let them down. And on the other side, there was negative, people who made fun of me, and I didn't want to let them be right. So I used both sides to motivate myself until I found my vision, my purpose, my way to express myself. I borrowed other people's for forever until I found my own. You know what I mean? I'd quote everybody else until I found my own way to say it. And our business will allow you to do that. Here's a concept that I want you to understand. Success loves speed. Success loves speed, just loves it. Radical growth loves speed. Why? Here's some reasons. One is it's efficient. It's actually easier to do something fast than slow. A burst of energy to get something done versus do it for a long period of time, you actually spend less energy and you get bigger results. It's efficient. So if you're going to work 10 hours a week as an example, let's say you're working part-time 10 hours a week, okay? I would rather have you take one of those 10-hour blocks, maybe even in one day, if you could, and just go after it. Then an hour and 15 minutes a day for the next 7 days. You don't understand what I'm saying? It's efficient. It's actually easier to be able to build that way. It's effective. It creates results. So that same example, those 10 hours, or let's say 5 hours. Somebody goes intense for 5 hours and they just go deep and they schedule appointments and they're making calls and they're calling people back and they're just going for 5 straight hours versus 1 hour a day for 5 days a week. Which one's going to get better results? Same hours. Same exact hours. We're not changing the hours. We're just changing the intensity, the speed of it. Same exact hours, so a lot of you are going to have people that are working part-time. We got to give them the best possible way to get the best results in that time. So it's efficient, it's effective, it's exciting. After you get past the fear, it's actually fun. And people don't realize that until they've done it for like an hour, and then they go, oh, this isn't as scary as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be scary. And guess what? If they do it 15 minutes or 30 minutes a day for the next 30 days, they're going to be afraid every day for 30 days. They're never going to get enough going that they get out of fear. They're going to be nervous, avoiding, coming up with excuses. Then they say, well, heck with it, I got to do it. And then they do it for not long enough to get better. They don't really get that great of results because they haven't done it enough. And then tomorrow they're afraid again. And the next day they're afraid again. And pretty soon they say, well, since nobody's watching, I guess I'm just going to avoid my fear today. Oh, I feel so much better not having to do that call that I was going to do. So it's exciting when you go and put a burst of energy together. It's attractive. Intensity attracts. Intensity attracts. It's attractive when something's moving and it's vibrant and it's alive. That's interesting to people. Because guess what? Almost everyone on earth is bored out of their skulls. They're bored stiff. They've been going through the motions for years and years, doing the same thing year after year, day after day, month after month, week after week. They gotta have something to be excited about, and they haven't been excited for a long time. They learned a skill, and they've been repeating that skill year after year without any new challenge, nothing exciting. Why do you think they're here in Las Vegas? To make money? No. They'll give their money to take care of their boredom. They're bored. It's attractive when you put something together that's fun. It builds confidence. Reduces fear. And you're going to experience that over the course of these 2 days. Confidence is a big deal. Confidence is a big deal. If you can get confident, if you can become fearless, if you're not self-conscious, guess what speed will help you do? It'll help you get through that and to the other side. It'll help you do that. And then it creates velocity. It builds its own momentum. What you get in motion tends to stay in motion, right? If you got a car, and every day you're going to push it 2 inches, push it another 2 inches, push it another 2 inches, or if you can get it going enough that it gets inertia and it's moving, that you don't need to give it so much. It's cruising now. You get things in motion, it creates velocity, it creates momentum, and momentum is efficient. Momentum is effective. It's exciting, it's attractive. All of that stuff kind of works together. So speed is actually important. I've found in our profession, in order to be able to get the success that you're looking for. And again, this is a different conversation for those of you at home and those of you here in the room. It's a different conversation than what you're going to say to your average, local quick start training. Or you're talking to everybody, because guess what? When we're talking with everybody, guess what we're saying most of the time? There's a daily method of operation that we're going to encourage you to do every day. There's a getting started process that we're going to walk you through. We've got training to help you all along the way. Relax, it's going to be fine. We're not going to tell them you can do a 90-day game plan, because guess what? One of the things that's misunderstood most about the 90-day game plan is to have sign up a brand new person and put them right into a 90-day game plan. They're not going to be ready for that. And today I'm going to give you an enhancement that I've made recently that I think will help you a lot. But I will tell you, typically what I've seen, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months in, somewhere in that range, they might build up enough confidence to do a real proper 90-day game plan down the road if they're hungry. But they've got to at least get their feet wet. They've got to understand the fundamentals. That's a serious push. The only times that there's an exceptions with that is sometimes when a person has a little bit of experience in network marketing and they've had their world blow up. Something terrible happened to their company, or they had a crisis and they had to go into activity quick in order to be able to pay the bills and take care of themselves and rebuild. That's an exception to that. But for the average person, it's going to take a little bit of time. Let me talk to you about the 3 levels. I'm going to give you 3 levels of a 90-day game plan. This is the first time I've trained this, okay? 3 levels. Level 1, level 2, and level 3. Level 1 is a person that is going to do a little bit more than they would have done, but they're still very part-time. They haven't built up a lot of confidence yet. They've got a little bit of belief issues, but this is like 10 to 20 hours a week type of a commitment, 10 to 20 hours a week. And you're going to have lots of level 1 people in your group. And you can let them know about these different levels. And when they're ready to go to another level, you can encourage them and support them through that. But level 1 is a person that says, you know what? I'm a homemaker and I've got kids, I've got this, I've got that. I can't give you 60 or 80 hours. It's not physically possible. But I can give you 10 or 20 very focused hours, and I'll be really intense with those hours, and I'll give you all that I have in those hours. Fantastic, wonderful. We can show that person how to have a breakthrough. And I'll do that 10 to 20 hours. I can normally only do 5 to 10 hours, but I'll do 10 to 20 for the next 90 days to see if I can't create a nice income for my family, a nice, residual or part-time, maybe $1,000 a month or $2,000 a month type of a situation. If I could create that, that would be life-changing for our family, and that's my goal. That's as much as I can think right now. You can have lots of those people, and some of you in the room, I'm going to give you permission to be level 1 right now if you want to. It's okay. Okay? I know you didn't come here to be level 1, but it's all right. If that's what you do and you're really focused on it, that's okay. Level 2 is more serious. 20 to 40 hours a week. This person says, I'm going to go after it. I've got these other things going on, but I'm going to eliminate as many distractions as I can, and I'm going to be super efficient in those 20 to 40 hours a week, and I'm going to really be serious for the next 90 days. I probably can't do that for forever with my life right now, I have a business, I have this, I've got that, I've got the kids, I've got this, we got this thing going on, that thing going on. But for the next 90 days, I'll give you 20 to 40 hours a week, consistent and hard and focused and intense and fast. I'll really sharpen my axe and I'll give you that commitment. There's going to be a smaller group of those. And then level 3 is all in. 60 to 80 hours a week. When I first started teaching the 90-day game plan, that was all I taught. Level 3. Because that's what I did. That's really the reason why I earned what I earned in this profession, is because I really did that. No joke. 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., 6 days a week. 8 a.m. to 12 a.m., 6 days a week. Really, and no joke. What is that? 6 times, that's 90 hours a week. And it's hardcore, and it's no joke, and it's very tiring, it's exhausting, it's lonely. It's a lot of things, but it created freedom for me. It created results for me. It created a breakthrough for me. It helped me go from a leader to what some would call, right? That feels weird to say, but you know what I mean. That's what I want you to be. You know what I mean? To be able to go to that space where all of a sudden you're not average anymore. There's 2 commas in your income per year instead of just 1. That rare group. So, some of you, and I'm going to, you don't have to make a decision right this second, but some of you are saying, you know what? I came here for level 3. I want it. I want to do that. Fantastic, wonderful. Some of you, by the end of this, might say, you know what? I don't know if I can do level 3 right now. I got a lot of stuff. I want to learn the skills of level 3. Maybe I'll tiptoe towards level 3. I'm going to do level 3 6 months from now. I'm going to start level 3 in 2015. It's going to be amazing. Right, there's a lot of that. And what I would encourage you, if you're not really ready, pick a level 1 or a level 2 and do that. And then ramp up, maybe to the next level. And then ramp up for that big all-out, no joke, all the decks are cleared, and you're really going after it, okay? You don't have to be there today in order to start 1 or 2, maybe in preparation for the big level 3. Now, what I will tell you is the activities in all 3 of these levels, guess what? They're the same. It's just hours. The only difference between level 1, level 2, level 3 is the hours that you put in. Because if you do this right, your intensity in every one of those levels should be exactly the same. Same level of intensity. Okay? Same level of passion, focus, purpose, determination, vision, all of that is going to go in there. So, I was going to ask you who's level 1, level 2, level 3 right now, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait till tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon, we'll do a little inventory and see where you're at. See what you're prepared to do in the month of July. Oh, wait, July, there's July 4th, and I got this, and the family thing. Can we start in August? I got this, we're going to go to Yellowstone Park. Okay, whatever. Pick whichever. There's a level 0. Take the summer off. Do whatever you want to do. You don't even have to pick one of these levels. For a 90-day game plan, what I would suggest is that you pick one of these levels and also take inventory on your team. Write this down. Take inventory in your group. Who in your group is prepared to be level 1? Who in your group is prepared to be level 2? Who in your group is prepared to be level 3? Take inventory, work with those people, help them achieve what they want to achieve over the course of the next 30, 60, 90 days. And I would also tell you that the 90 days isn't set in stone, but it's highly suggested that whatever you commit to for the 90 days, that increased level of intensity for that 90 days. And reason why I say it, one is because I've learned that you can hold that intensity for about 90 days. If it's a stretch, no matter what level it is, you can hold that stretch for that period of time, but you can't hold it for a lot longer. If you've ever done, anybody ever done some sort of a 90-day game plan here in the room? Did you feel the fatigue towards the end of it? You did, right? You feel like, oh, man, I don't know how much longer I can do this. But for those of you who did it, raise your hand again if you did it. Keep your hand up for a moment. Okay. If you would have stopped after 30 days, how many feel like you would have lost most of your benefits? Because you weren't really in a groove yet. You didn't really have the momentum yet. You didn't really have the skills locked in yet. So some people say, well, I'm going to do a 90-day game plan just for the next 9 days or the next 3 days or whatever. Yes, you're going to get some results, but what I've seen more than not is the results will go up and then they will crater right afterwards. And the intensity that you built, you won't have much to show for it because, you know, the people were all getting it, just starting to get excited with you, and then you disappeared because you needed a nap, you know, for 3 days. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, so I suggest 90 days, and I suggest it pretty strongly. You can do what you want. You're all independent people. Do what you want. But I really believe that a 90-day plan, a 90-day commitment, I should say, is going to serve you very, very well. Okay?